So we made a first exhibition, we're talking about 56. It was a great success. All was sold in one day. And he was working and working and working to make other exhibitions. And then he met my mother because he divorced from his first wife. The main reason that there are two strong personalities who are living together. Tahia, as you can see from her work, she's a very strong personality. Abdalla also. So two strong personalities, the moment they clash. So, but they stayed friendly until the end of their life. I think many people can testify about that. And then he met my mother, who is a Danish, who was a nurse, staying in Paris. It's a very romantic story. And, and he followed her in Denmark. And he stayed for 10 years in Denmark, and I was born in Denmark, together with my eldest brother and my sister. And then in Denmark, it was very, very, very appreciated. The Danish people liked very much his art. But because he was living outside, he was no more in Egypt. Progressively, not the people, not the artists, not the intellectuals, but the institutions, they did no more show his work. More and more year passes, yeah. And in France, he left angry because France attacked Egypt together with the English and the Israelis. So he did not want to do anything with French, neither English. So it was also a split with the artistic milieu, galleries and so on in Europe. Mainly we are talking about France and England. So he was also 10 years in Denmark. So he was famous in Denmark, but forgotten also in France and so on. And year passes. The Sadat period, as you know better than me, because you live here and you have the history. It was difficult for artists to manage simply, and especially an artist like my father, who was very politically engaged against the regime of Sadat. He was criticizing it very toughly. So during the years of Sadat and Mubarak, all official things were forbidden. I go quickly because I have short time, just to say that he initiated a very important movement, a very important period in his art, which is never has been reached since, which is something that we can call figurative lettrism, which is bringing the letter, the word, to become shape. You can have any example here. For example, the word, this is El-Mout, and it is like a grave. But you have, for example, the word freedom, El-Hurriya, someone standing like this. You have motherhood, which suggests someone who is a mother with children, a child in her, like this, and. This Al-Abd, for example, Al-Abd, no, the one before. This مثلا Al-Abd or Al-Mutamazzuq. Okay, and also in his artwork, he was expressing the evolution of the situation on the country. Just, I want to say something very important. He came to this letters figuration because he was no more living in the physical reality of Egypt. He went abroad. So what was his connection to Egypt, or broadly to the Arab world? The language, the word, yeah, the alphabet. So he made from the alphabet figuration, and he developed a kind of representation which is humanoid, let's say, with the works, and it also tells the story of Egypt and Arab world. And just to finish, he was very much engaged in the Palestinian issue. He gave many of his works from the beginning of the 60s to support the Palestinian resistance. By the way, he gave 150 works in 1978 to the PLO to support the struggle for the freedom of the Palestinian people, but the work disappeared in Lebanon at the time of the war. And that is also one of the reasons why he disappeared from the official story in Europe, because he was engaged on the Palestinian issue. And for example, I told you he left France because 56 when France attacked Egypt at Suez, and he came back in 66. 1 year later was 67 war. At that time, all 99% of the intellectual artists, gallerists, and all art dealers and all that, they support Israel, and they support and consider Arabs as terrorists. Of course, because of that, he was put on the side because he was talking about defeat of Zionism, Saura, when the Palestinian got a victory in Karami, the battle in Jordan, and this, of course, on the European side was not appreciated. So he disappeared from the official history in the European side and also in the Egyptian and Arab for the reason I told you, but we'll take later about how to deal with, how to have the comeback. Exactly. So,
thank you. This was a very, very super. It was very interesting to know.
I had 3 minutes.
And it's very clear that you're passionate about and know inside out the story of your father. And all my respect to AHMED Abdalla. Sherine, would you like us also to, give us a presentation of Ahmed Morsi? He's a living artist.
Can we ask first
how many
people?
More.
Okay, that's nice.
60%, 50%.
That's very nice. I didn't expect that actually. Yes. Because unlike, well, I'll talk about my father, but unlike the very passionate, أتكلم بالعربي. أحلى حاجة إن هم اختاروني أنا عشان أتكلم بالعربي بس أوكي. لا هحاول. أوكي هحاول. خلينا نبتدي من البداية بالأسئلة اللي قلت لنا to cover. أحمد مرسي فنان وشاعر مصري. اتولد في 1930 في مدينة اسكندرية. ولحد دلوقتي الهوية بتاعته إن هو اسكندراني. مهما كان ساب مصر إمتى، ساب اسكندرية إمتى، دلوقتي هو بقاله 50 سنة عايش في أمريكا في نيويورك، بس الايدنتيتي بتاعته إن هو اسكندراني. He's not part of the system، فهو ما تخرجش من فنون جميلة. هو بدأ يكتب شعر ويرسم في سن صغير in his early teens. I'll go back and forth, is that okay?
No problem.
In his early teens. At school, he had an English teacher who happened to have been also an artist and كان sharing a studio مع سيف وأدهم ونلي في اسكندرية. وتصاحب عليه، كان بيسموه في المدرسة الشاعر، فين الشاعر، فتصاحب عليه وقال له أحمد أنت هتعمل إيه بعد لما تتخرج من المدرسة، عايز تروح فين؟ فقال له هنزل مصر، ما كانش لسه في كلية فنون جميلة في اسكندرية، هنزل مصر بقى القاهرة يعني، وهروح فنون جميلة. قال له ليه؟ قال له عشان عايز أبقى فنان. فقال له أحمد أنا شايف إن أنت ما تروحش القاهرة وخليك أنت في اسكندرية وادخل جامعة اسكندرية which he did and he graduated in the faculty of English literature لأنه هو كان كاتب كمان. وممكن تدرس مع حد أنا هعرفك عليه. فعرفوا على سيف وأدهم ونلي، وسيف اتصاحب عليه، خدوا كده تحت دراعه وعرفوا على the son of the master under which he studied. The son's name is Silvio Becchi. He took a few months of courses تحت Silvio and a few months later decided to quit. And he left Alexandria and went to Baghdad for 2 years, came back to Alexandria, was asked by a friend, he's a famous playwright, maybe some of you know, it's Alfred Farag. Does anybody recognize the name? So Alfred was putting on his first play, مسرحية اسمها عايز افتكر دلوقتي سكوت فرعون. Anyway, وطلب من أحمد مرسي إن هو ينزل عشان يعمل له الديكور والملابس ورسم الملابس. فنزل مصر وبعدين كمل بقى في القاهرة الرحلة بتاعته. he's not part of the system. He always worked sort of below the radar. هتلاقيه معروف جدا مع الجيل بتاعه أصحابه الكتاب النقاد الفنانين بس once دول انقرضوا دلوقتي بدأ اسمه وبالذات بعد ما سافر كمان وساب البلد 74 نقل على نيويورك العيلة كلها نقلت وهو عايش هناك لحد دلوقتي ايه تاني did I miss out on anything else? No, I can do that. أنا بتسائل كتير دايما التركيز بيبقى على اللوحات فبتسائل كتير هو ليه كام لوحة ولما أجي أقول إن هما just a couple of hundreds دايما الناس بتتخض طب إزاي بس هو بيشتغل من زمان والرد هو إن هو مش بس a painter هو he's a printmaker so إذا عدينا the prints they would be فوق ال 700 he is also we also have works on paper he produced 3 artist books he co-founded a cultural magazine Gallery 68 which had its heyday in the 1960s he's also an art critic there are maybe over 300 articles of criticism and various studies he produced the first Arabic monograph on Picasso so there's a lot more than paintings, and if we were to add all of that up, then it would be, yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Sherine. Paul Guiragossian.